Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Turn 3 Racing Network. As tonight we're here to kick off season number 5 for the NSRA Sunday Select Series right here at Daytona. Race number 1 is underway, and we are wrapping up our first practice of the night. You don't know who I am, that's okay. Some days I don't know who I am, but my name is K.R. Stolfus, and I want to thank you all for coming by and seeing what this is all about here tonight. A month off almost for this NSRA series on Sunday night. Championship race over a month ago, crowned a champion, and now none of that means anything except for to the drivers, and they all have a fresh shot at putting their name in the record book as a champion. Right now, David Anderson does have the fastest time in practice, but a lot of other cars here looking to put down some quick lap times in this practice session to know where they are at. A lot of single car qualifying efforts, but final 10 seconds to go, and it is almost time to get this race fired off and get ready to rock and roll once again. Daniel Holloway in a new paint scheme here tonight, throwing up some smoke. Gonna be a good time as the checkered flag falls. Here we go once again into qualifying. So as the track is opened up for qualifying and the drivers start making their way out onto this 2.5 mile super speedway, who is going to be one of the first ones to put it on pole this season. First car out on to the speedway, that is the 9 of J.R. Johnson. As Johnson gets his car up to speed, we're going to see these guys run that high line, and from there they are going to move down to that yellow line and really try and set a banger of a lap. Drivers are only going to have 5 minutes in qualifying here. It's a little bit of a change from last season. They had 10 minutes on the clock, but typically at about 5 minutes the admin would advance it. But here we are, a hard 5-minute qualifying session. Got some people checking in on YouTube. Fuel Rock checking in. Hey, if you're not doing anything, Mr. Fuel Rock, we'd love to have you. If you're interested, start messaging me on Book of Face. Mara checking in. Austin checking in as well. This number 9 machine was one of the first ones to roll out on the speedway. Let's check a few other cars out there as well. The 04 Mark Mann starting to get up to speed. Mark Mann running his Batmobile paint scheme. Throwback to the Adam West Batmobile. I think by far that is one of the most unique paint jobs, and it speaks volumes even for how plain it is that Demon Tech really did a great job. Demon Tech Designs on that one, Daniel Harrington. So I can't say enough about that paint job. Do have a few cars rolling across the start finish line and starting to drop down to that bottom lane. Michael Birthday, one of those out on the speedway right now. He does have the fastest lap. Newcomer to the series. See how he ends up doing here tonight, as we have several rookies in this race. The 26 of Hunter Reynolds out on the speedway. So as this qualifying session starts to tick down, guys, we're going to step away, as we always do, for our national anthem. No one go anywhere. We'll be back with tonight's starting lineup.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous flight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Drivers are starting to take to the grid. We are that much closer to the first green flag of the season, so let's get right to it. Let's go ahead and check out tonight's starting lineup, and it is already looking to be a heck of a front row. Here we go. Row number 1 is going to be the 3 of Paul Servant on the inside. On his outside will be the 44 of David Anderson. Row number 2 will be the 26 of Hunter Reynolds and the 88 of Dana Osborne. Row number 3 in the 133 machine, Jesse Unrow, and on his outside, his teammate J.D. Crow. Row number 4 will be the 04 of Mark Mann and the 40 of Anthony English. Row number 5 will be the 62 of Les Levy, and on his outside will be the 4 of Chris Akers. Row number 6 will be the 29 of Justin Levine and the 77 of David Booth. Row number 7 will be the 603 of Peter Bailey and the 21 of Daniel Holloway. Row number 8 will be the 9 machine of J.R. Johnson. On his outside, the newcomer Brian Underwood. Row number 9 will be the 84 of Lynn McNeese, and on his outside, another new driver, Michael Berthay. Row number 10 will see the 15 of Michael Little in his rookie season and the 28 of Roy Grandi. Row number 11 will be the 59 of Matthew Kleinschmidt, and on his outside, the 343 of Russell Hancock. Row number 12 will be the 32 of Chase Galvin and the 65 of James Grimes, but Grimes is missing the call for the grid here. Row number 13, the 388 of Doug Johnson. Johnson also missing the call to hit his starting spot, and on the outside of row number 13 will be the 101 of David Gainforth. Row 14 will be the 011 of Jason Kinzer and the 30 of Donald Bennett. Row 15 will be the 11 Danny, the Mexican Valenzuela, and the 25 of Jimmy Reynolds. And finally, our last row, the 7-11 of Stephen Herman and the 31 of Todd Poston. As we get ready to rock and roll. Been saying that a lot here tonight. I do want to throw it out there that in the booth with me now is none other than Derek Conley. And Derek, we're getting ready to go green flag racing.
It's going to be a pretty exciting night, KR. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, I'm doing just fine, but lights are out on the Chevy Silverado. And I'll tell you what, Paul Servant in the Oreos machine, David Anderson in the 44, they're looking to pick up where they left off last season as the green flag flies. 80 laps scheduled distance here tonight, and we are underway, and already a drag race taking place. Going to be interrupted by this left-hand turn. We're going to do that a whole lot of times here tonight.
Yeah, about 3-4 times a lap. You know, they will be turning left as I'm still working on coming in here to see what's going on. You've got me all fired up, wanting to see all the excitement.
Well, down the back stretch, we already got drivers shaking and baking, some movement going on. The 3 of Paul Servant still is down on that inside lane where he started, but Hunter Reynolds moved up to the high side here, trying to make something happen in the outside lane. JD Crow in the 17 and Jesse Unroe got hooked up together nose to tail, already trying to put pressure on the 3 of Paul Servant. But coming around to lead the first lap is going to be Paul Servant. And now we are already seeing these drivers fan out even further towards the back. Hunter Reynolds now falling back a little bit as the 17 and the 133 are going to make a move to the outside lane. They're going to try and work around Paul Servant down the backstretch, and they have cleared along with David Anderson. So the MAGA series, or the MAGA drivers, now running 1, 2, and 3. Good teamwork there to put them in front of this field. Their goal was to lock out the front row. David Anderson did make it to the front row, but JD Crow and Jesse Unroe sitting 1 and 2 with Anderson third down on that inside line. Hunter Reynolds still working that outside lane, but now he's got the 04 Mark Mann right there, and he is closing in. Once again, down the backstretch we are going. JD Crow looking very solid here. Maybe driving with a bit of a chip on his shoulder. His teammates gave him the slough here when I was talking to him before the race started. Jesse Unroe and David Anderson said, yeah, we're going to lock out the front row and then we'll let JD Crow catch up to us. I think that lit a fire under the 17. He maybe didn't get on the front row, but he is leading this field. But as I say that, Hunter Reynolds utilizing that outside lane with a big push from the 04 Mark Mann, able to take over that top spot. But here comes the 17 off of turn number 2, slides up to the high side right in front of Mark Mann, and now they're going to battle it out for the race lead. Crow has it for the moment. Will we see the 17 dive down to the inside? And he does as he goes into turn number 3. Dana Osborne in that 88. The 4 Chris Akers, they are part of the Candy Shack Motorsports. They are working their way forward. A lot of drivers putting a target on Candy Shack Motorsports as they wrapped up another championship last month. Here we can see they are starting to work their way forward, but the battle at the front of this field is seeing everyone kind of scattered around, still in this big pack. Daniel Harrington, who is scheduled to start, still has not made his way out onto the speedway. We'll see if that 82 machine gets rolling or if his problems continue. Osborne trying to make that third lane work, gonna start falling back here. But Derek, these guys gonna mix it up here for our 80 laps scheduled distance. No stages here tonight, so everyone's really probably just trying to settle in, or at least you.
Oh, as we get a turn.
JD Crow spins from the lead, and now we have a huge stack up. Multiple cars involved in this one. And Derek, yellow flag flies for the first time tonight.
What a time for me to finally get loaded into the session, see Hunter Reynolds try to take it 3 wide below the 17, and it just did not work. There was just not enough room for that nose of the 26 to fit it in there, KR.
We're going to take another look at this one, the 17 and the 26 on the high side. JD Crow had no idea Hunter was going to try and squeeze that in there. And as JD went spinning, everyone almost got through the spinning 17, but the troubles all came a little bit further up. As I try and find the right car I want to click on, we'll take another look at this one. It is going to be a bit of a rough night for me here. But you can see everyone just kind of piling in. And the field was this tightly packed, no one had anywhere to go. So multiple cars involved in this one. And Derek, these drivers will have 2 fast repairs all night long. Some of them already having to burn their first one.
There was a good 15 or so from my count, which is probably totally incorrect. That's going to have to burn it right now. That was a huge, huge stack up, KR.
And it was several cars on pit road. Daniel Harrington's machine has fired, but he has not left pit lane just yet. So we'll see if he can get out there. The 388 of Doug Johnson looks like he is done early on for the night. He is already headed to the hauler and looking to head to next week's race taking place at Talladega. So pit lane is open, and here comes the field down pit road. Pit stops already taking place, Derek.
As Hunter Reynolds leads them down, it looks not many people were staying out. A lot of the field has already made their stops just from that accident, but yeah, good time for everybody to stop. I'm not exactly sure on what fuel percentage they're going to be running, but with no stages or anything like that, stopping right now is a great chance. Just everybody take a breath.
So as the field makes their pit stops, Mark Mann, first one off of pit road. Looked like a splash of fuel for the 04. David Anderson, second car out. With this big shakeup, we're going to take a quick moment and step away from the mics. We'll be back right after this.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the drivers begin forming up side by side. And Derek, you are all set and ready. This time I'm going to let you call this green flag.
Oh boy, this should be really interesting. As we got the 44, David Anderson lining up on the inside behind the Chevy Silverado. They didn't have the butt stang out there, as you like to call it. We got Mark Mann on that high side. David's going to be pushed by Paul Servant, and Mark's pushed by Dana Osborne. I might be completely wrong. Nope. It seems like we may have a delay, though, in the restart here, KR.
The lights have gone back on the Silverado, and not sure what that means other than we will have one more lap around. So we are working our first caution. Thought it was all done and over with, and man, here we go. And Austin Meredith, yes, I will talk with anyone. I have very low standards. Derek Conley was the last chick at the bar, and I have taken him home with me.
That's literally how I met my fiance.
All right. As the Silverado shuts its lights off, we can promise you it turned its lights off, unlike the Mustang, where they probably failed.
You know, I've won quite a few races in that Mustang, so
Yeah, that's it doesn't count when there's no other cars out there, Derek.
testing sessions work. They count towards your SR.
All right, so Derek, we're gonna try this one more time. The lights are off on our Silverado, made with thunderstorms and tornadoes. The 44 David Anderson on the inside, the 04 of Mark Mann on the outside. So Derek, as far as experience goes with being out here at Daytona, I'm gonna lean on you for that. You do a lot of laps in this kind of situation. Here we are, gonna take the green flag on lap 11 of 80, coming to the end of the first caution. Got to settle it down a little bit, you think, or you just trying to get ramped up to stay elevated? What are you thinking here?
This early in the race, on this restart, yeah, you're going to pick it up a little bit, but what you're trying to do is you're trying to distance yourself away from the gaggle. The first 2, maybe 3 rows here will start to try to get single file. I believe that's the way I would do it as they come out of turn 4. But you want to try to get, you know, single file, maybe two by two, but you don't want to really push hard as pace car ducks in. Green flag as the 44 gets a great jump off of that coming to the line. The 04 Mark Mann getting a little bit of help from the 88 as they come storming back on that high side. The 3 finally makes a connection with the 44 of David Anderson as they dive down into turn 1.
Down to the inside, the Anderson machine out in front. Mark Mann falling behind a little bit as the 88 now gets to his back bumper and tries to start pushing on him. The 011 of Jason Kinzer, third car in that outside lane, as Paul Servant now makes that move off of turn number 2, and he charges back to the front. Your pole sitter trying to take over his top spot.
That move right there is one you're going to see many, many times tonight. Getting that run on the bottom, jumping out in front of that high line, and just keeping your momentum running. As the 3 and the 44 are still trying to get that run on the 04 of Mark Mann, but the 88 of Dana Osborne is giving one heck of a push to that 04 on that high line as we go back into 1 and 2.
Side by side, they will be all night long. The 75 machine of Michael Berthay, rookie out here, he's making some noise. He's working his way to the front. He started deep in this field and already inside the top 10. He's finding himself 4th car in that outside lane. So it'll be interesting to see if that 75 has just had a good run or if he's at the front to stay.
I'm watching the 88 right now. I'm trying to see if the 88's just trying to cool the engine off or if they were actually trying to spool up a run on that outside of the 04 Mark Mann. As we got a little bit of smoke, that might just be on my end, as the outside line gets a great run as we go through 1 and 2. Mark Mann was not able to come up and lead that lap. That still went to the 3 of Paul Servant, but they have really put the pressure on that inside line.
Yeah, this outside lane, you know as well as I do, these drivers really get the momentum down the back stretches. Mark Mann's going to slide down to the inside line as we ride on board with the 88 of Dana Osborne. And you see, as soon as we get into a corner, that inside lane really works its way back forward, but man, they yo-yo back and forth from the inside to the outside lane.
The outside lane is my favorite place to be, especially if I got some people behind me that are not afraid to pinch. We pinch down tight in the turns, we don't lose as much, and then we float out high on the straight stretches, and we just build that momentum up. If you do that consecutive laps, you'll really get that outside line wound up, as that inside line, though, just really powers out of turn 2.
Down the back stretch, this front group very tightly packed. And Derek, I'm with you. I prefer that outside lane. I feel a little claustrophobic anytime I get down to that inside. So I always look to try and find a way to get to the high side. And I like to leave my car there and let happen what happens on these super speedways. As Tony Stewart famously said, I'm playing checkers at a chess level, or playing chess at a checkers level.
The outside lane does have its advantages, especially in the high banks of Daytona here. Daytona in the turns is what they call a self-cleaning track. The banking is so great that as cars wreck, they'll just slide down. So if you're on that high side, if you just kind of keep it high, odds are you're going to miss the accident.
So this front group starting to separate itself from the rest of the field. The 59 of Matthew Kleinschmidt trying to close in here. Another rookie in this series. We'll see what he's got as he closes in on the back bumper of the 17 of J.D. Crow. You do see the 82 of Daniel Harrington now. Daniel Harrington has joined the race. He is 7 laps down in that Demon Tech 82 machine. But he is out there, and for the first start of the season, that's a rough place to be, 7 laps down.
It is. I'm not saying that it's not possible for him to come back from 7 laps down, but it's going to take a lot of clean, very hard racing to come back from 7 laps down, and a lot of luck.
Contact. J.R. Johnson, J.D. Crow. Somehow J.D. Crow holds on to that 17 machine. He is losing momentum and losing spots.
He is going to drop back to the end of this pack, hopefully be able to tuck him behind the 82 of Daniel Harrington. But considering how hard he hit that wall, I think he's going to say that was a win, just being able to maintain his car and not destroy it more than it was.
J.D. Crow is the first car 1 lap down. Chris Akers also in that 1 lap down category in the 4 machine. Time and time again, we see this 4 of Akers running a lap down. Somehow he almost always finds a way to get back on the lead lap. So we'll see if that 4 has some magic in that Candy Shack Motorsports machine and can get back on to the lead lap. Do want to check in on another driver here, another fan favorite, Hot Wife, cheering for the 603 of Peter Bailey. And I don't know about you, Derek, but if I got a YouTuber named Hot Wife cheering for me, I'm doing something right.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried to get mine on there, but she definitely won't be doing that. So, but yeah, definitely going to be checking on him. He's running the 3rd position on that bottom line, just kind of biding his time, not really pressing the issues. He falls in behind the 2600 Reynolds there. Looks like he's keeping a pretty clean ride through this first few laps of this race.
So the 603 towards the front of the field is yet to lead a lap. We have had 5 lap leaders, and so far, Paul Servant has led the most laps at 6 and counting. So that 3 is going to be the one to watch. He had a firm grip on the points championship for a majority of the season. As the 88 of Dana Osborne, his engine goes up in smoke. Osborne on the high side here, and he is going to be falling back through the field. And that 88 in trouble. Good news for him. He is going to have a spot to drop down to the inside here and get down on the apron and get off the surface and onto pit lane. Burn a fast repair here and get back into it.
That is just heartbreaking, especially this early in the race, as we now have a caution on the track, trying to figure out what has gone on.
Yeah, I am not 100% sure what has happened to bring out the caution. I believe it is going to be something with the 4 of Chris Akers. Let's go ahead and take another look at this as we go to our turn 3 instant replay. You can see the 4 is already spinning. And that is going to be what our caution is for. We'll take another look, back this up one more time. Chris Akers and the 31 are going to get together. Akers going to end up losing that battle with the 31 at Todd Poston.
KR Akers has got his car stuck at the most precarious position on that turn. Rear wheels both off of the ground, and he's going to have to take a tow back to pit road. He was able to keep his car clean through that whole entire accident. He, held the brakes, kept it out of the wall. He just got in the worst position possible when you wreck here at Daytona, not being able to pull out of it.
Getting those back tires airborne, never a good sign, because now you lose all drive capabilities. As the field comes on to pit road, Paul Servant leading Peter Bailey and Hunter Reynolds. Another splash of fuel. We might see tires going on a few of these cars. Someone's going to be brave enough and try 4 tires. Who's it going to be?
I will tell you this right now, the person who has benefited the most from this caution right now is the 88 of Dana Osborne.
Dana Osborne was on pit road when this yellow flag came out, got his engine repaired and got rolling, and now finds himself scored as the race leader. We'll see if that's going to stick or if he's going to come down pit lane. But yes, you are right. To go from a blown engine, burn a fast repair, and get back out there and now leading this thing, that is timing perfection.
I've went to the lead in a few races in some unconventional ways, but this is probably a first for me to ever see this happen. It's the best break that could have ever happened, though, after popping that engine on the backstretch.
So another caution flag coming out. J.D. Crow, I believe, is going to be our lucky dog as he sits on pit road. We'll see if he ends up staying on the lead lap. He's been here for a little bit and not moving, so not sure if he's having issues or what as he finally starts to pull away. Well, Derek, coming around to start lap 22. And it looks like our lucky dog is going to go to the 62 of Les Levy.
Yep, as Les does make his way around all of the field through 1 and 2 right now. J.D. Crow is actually being scored on the lead lap, so that's probably why it went to Les. Just a little update on the 88 of Dana Osborne. It looks like Dana's having to drop to the end of the field, so Dana may not have made pit road before that caution came out. If that's the case, now that's just a bad break off of a lucky break.
Still, however, popping your engine and being scored on the lead lap and now being able to catch the tail end of the field instead of being out there by yourself, it's still a good situation for the 88 out of a bad one.
Absolutely. It could have been so much worse. I mean, if this would have gone green, they probably would have pitted within like 8 or 9 laps from the moment that Danny popped the engine. So that's a lap, maybe 2 laps down. So this is a great second chance to come out, stay on the lead lap, and keep fighting for position.
Lights are out on our pace truck. Field formed up nice and purdy like, side by side, nose to tail. We're going to fire them off one more time. Paul Servant on the inside lane and Hunter Reynolds on his outside. Paul now has led for the last 9 laps. Hunter Reynolds, though, trying to get his name out there as a leader. He's led for 2 laps so far this race, but the truck is out of our way. Paul Servant going to pick up the throttle, and Hunter Reynolds right there with him. Reynolds, though, doesn't have anybody to his back bumper. Mark Mann in that 04 already to the back bumper of the 3.
The 44 looked like he was caught sleeping as they came to the green flag, but Hunter Reynolds somehow is able to just get a nose out ahead of the 3 of Paul Servant as they enter 1 and 2. The 44 finally joins the crowd to Hunter Reynolds' rear bumper as they come out of turn 2, but the 3 right now has the run on that backstretch.
Now Hunter Reynolds, despite not having an extra set of horsepowers behind him, is going to slide down in front of the 3 and take over that top spot. Now David Anderson in the 44 leading the charge in the outside lane. Hunter Reynolds down on the bottom.
KR, that was a power move right there for Hunter to be able to stay side by side the 3 with no help until that 44 got there. The fact that he was able to stay that close to the 3 when the 44 got there, that was able to just get them that amazing run going into turn 3 to get Hunter out front. As the 133 looked to the high side of the 44, I don't know if he just got a little loose or air it out, but that looked like it was going to get interesting for a second.
Jesse Unroe teammates to the 44, David Anderson. Right now they are running nose to tail in that outside lane, but they have left Paul Servant the room to make a move coming off this corner, and we'll see if Paul is going to take it as he starts to peek outside. Mark Mann tried to go with him, but Anderson was there. And here we go once again, Paul Servant trying to take over that top spot.
This battle for the lead is really awesome, KR. I mean, you just got 3-4 guys that are just not, they're not going to concede an inch up here if they can help it. As that bottom run or lane does get that run, we got wreck happening in the back of the field in the middle of 1 and 2.
Dana Osborne getting a piece of that one. It looked like the 17 of JD Crow. I thought maybe got a piece of that, but could have been another car. Danny Venezuela torn up as well. Yellow flag coming out. Let's take another look at this one here. Into the corner they go. Lynn McNeese gonna get turned, or into the wall. Dana Osborne gets turned. So Osborne finding trouble once again here tonight, but 2-car mix-up right there.
Yeah, some people got real lucky. Looked like from my screen, it looked like Todd Poston got real lucky through there. I don't know if he actually made it through that or not, but that could have been pretty bad. That was near the back middle of that field, KR.
Well, one angry soldier is going to be happy that Todd Poston made it through this little kerfuffle. But the 31 of Todd Poston, a driver who doesn't qualify and does his best to make his way forward. Right now, he's scored in 21st spot.
KR, I want you to spell that word.
What word?
Kerfluffle?
There's a niner in there somewhere.
Fair enough. As it looks like the 26 of Hunter Reynolds is going to lead most of the field, but we got some people staying out. The 3 of Paul Servant, he's going to be staying out. The 7-11 of Stephen Herman. So a little bit of mixed strategy here. We got about 7 laps on this stint. Looks about 5, 6, 7 guys may have stayed out, probably a little bit more.
Got multiple cars on pit lane. We'll see how this shakes out strategy wise. The 3 staying out, the 7-11 staying out, and with all that being said, guys, we're going to take a quick little break. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the lights have gone out on the Chevy Silverado. Paul Servant, who stayed out. Stephen Herman, another driver who stayed out, along with Jason Kinzer, Daniel Holloway, Chase Galvin, Michael Little, Justin Levine, and also J.D. Crow, all staying out, and they are going to be in front of our cars who came down pit road.
Typically, yes, that's exactly how they get lined up as they enter the backstretch, getting ready to come to the green flag. KR, I'm really impressed with J.D. Crow. It was not 6 laps ago. He was a lap down, and here he is now sitting in 8th place. That's a pretty good come up from being a 1 lap down.
Yeah, J.D. Crow likes to run at the front as we got one hard in the wall. That's the 7 machine. Looked like equipment failure for Brian Underwood. He smacked the wall. He's going to continue here. So not sure what that was for Underwood, but man, that could have been bad.
It really could. I'm going through the field right now just to see if anybody else got any damage from it. Everybody else looks like they're pretty clear. But yeah, that was kind of wild.
That's a big oof right there. Travis Elliott checking in, and yes, Travis, it is as we get ready to go green flag racing one more time. The 3 of Paul Servant gets a good jump this time on that inside lane. Squirmin' Herman not able to keep up with him as Jason Kinzer gets to the back bumper of the 3 and really starts giving him the what for into turn 1.
Talking about Squirmin' Herman on that high lane. As soon as the 21 of Daniel Holloway got up there, Squirmin was squirming all over that front as they tried to enter turn 1. So that gave that bottom line a massive run as 3, maybe 4 people are going to clear that top lane.
A lot of movement going on right now as they jockey for position into turn number 3. Chase Galvin in the 32 leading the charge on that outside lane now. Looks like he's starting to build some momentum as he tries to go door to door with the 11 machine. I think that's the 11 machine. Looks like an 11. Could be a 77. I don't know.
It might be the 011. Nope, that's an 11.
Yep, that's the 11
disguised.
of Justin Levine.
Aha, I've got him scored as the 29, so.
Well, I'll
that's
tell
where
you
I
what. Someday, iRacing will figure out how to make custom numbers and the scoring all work the same.
It won't be today.
Not today, no.
As the 011 of Jason Kinzer squeaked out to the lead just briefly, but then the 11 of Justin Levine is able to take it. And he might clear the 011 of Jason Kinzer. That was a close one, KR, as he dropped down in front of him.
He does drop down in front of him, and Justin gonna pick up his first lap lead of the night. And Justin, a newcomer to this league, but not a newcomer to me calling him out on the track. And let me just say, I'm not surprised to see this 11 out front.
Typically, whenever I say someone's not new to me calling them out on the track, it's not good things. As we're getting some 3 wide action here in the back, the 15 is up against the wall, trying to drop back. That's the 15 of Michael Little. I don't know if he's trying to drop back or if he got moved, but regardless, things got a little bit hairy there in the middle pack for a second.
Daytona allows for 3 wide racing, and in a pinch you can go 4 wide, but it does get tight. A lot of drivers like to stay 2 wide here at Daytona. Next week when we go to Talladega, they're going to be 4 wide comfortably. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out throughout this season as they rotate through Daytona and Talladega for 13 races.
Talladega definitely has a lot more breathing room, which is great, but it's also got a lot more room for mistakes, which sometimes make for interesting finishes.
Paul Servant, though, not content to stay behind anybody. He has moved to the high side once again and trying to take over that top spot.
The 11 of Justin Levine, though, is fighting back with the help of the 44. The 011 of Jason Kinzer is giving Paul Servant, though, every ounce of car he has. This is just going either way. As the 3 is able to clear, but he doesn't drop down. I think Jason Kinzer, though, he probably was hoping he would, because it looks like he's getting pretty red inside that car right now.
011 pushing hard on the 3, trying to get him to the front, as he does peek his nose out just a little bit, trying to get some air to it. Again, you can see he's trying to get that right front out, and now he does jump all the way out, so Jason Kinzer may be getting a little hot.
Yeah, he spent about 2.5 laps fully attached to the 3, tandem drafting. There was no air going inside there. You definitely want to kick that right side of your car out, because the tape is all put on that left front nose. So if you kick out the left front, you're not going to get any air in there. You have to kick that right side out. That's another reason why I like the high line. You can pinch down hard and keep that bottom line really hot.
A little bit of a wiggle out of the 3 of Paul Servant as Justin continues to lead here. That 11 machine out front gonna make his car wide at some point here tonight to try and win this thing, but we still have quite a few laps to go, 46 of them in fact. Keep in mind, if we have to, we will use 2 green-white checkered attempts, as we have 2 distinct groups here, this lead pack consisting of many cars. And now Paul Servant and the 3 out in front, but not able to clear Levine.
They keep doing this battle back and forth as Squirmin' Hermit goes a little bit high there. I didn't know if he was trying to drop, just trying to bail, or just get a look. But that's going to disrupt the air and all that momentum that Highline has, as 11 is able to pull forward a little bit more, but the 3 is fighting back on that outside. This has been a really good battle for about 4 or 5 laps. Nobody's going to give an inch. Nobody's even getting clear to where they can block the run.
I do want to check in on a buddy of the Turn 3 Racing Network, and that is the 31 of Donald Bennett. He is leading, leading this second group here, has Lynn McNeese on his back bumper. Dana Osborne in the 88, part of this group, along with several lap down cars. The 65 of Jason Grimes is finding himself 3 laps off the race pace. And then you have the 82 of Daniel Harrington, who finds himself 6 laps down, so he has gained back 1 of those 7, but a long road ahead for the 82.
He's just stacking those pennies.
Another friend of the Turn 3 Racing Network, and that is Danny the Mexican Valenzuela. Whatever, he's not important. He's riding around in 25th spot, has a raise on the hood of his race car, and pretty good energy drinks. It ordered me a couple cases of it and enjoyed it thoroughly, and then just never ordered any more. Not really sure why.
Well, I mean, if you didn't think about ordering any more, were they really that great?
Actually, they really were.
Well, then I might have to give them a shot.
I just kind of got lazy.
Well, we all do that.
Yeah. So I'll have to hit him up here. If he wins, we'll definitely do it. But if he doesn't win, we only support winners here at the Turn 3 Racing Network. So we'll see how that plays out.
As we go back to the front, we still have this battle raging on between the 11 and the 3. Not much has changed. They're kind of calm. They're still, you know, it's 2 by 2. They're not getting real close. Everybody's just kind of being really professional. They've all decided right now, I think, that they're just going to ride it out a little bit, see what they're going to do with this fuel run. A lot of these guys, though, are coming to the end of that fuel run. If you remember, the majority of this front pack did not pit. And so they're about 19 laps on this current fuel stint.
We go on board with the 31 of Todd Post and his zombie buddies all up in chat wanting to figure out how he is doing these salty zombies on the hood. And right now this 31, as I mentioned, he starts without qualifying, so he usually starts at the tail end of the field. Picked up a couple wins last season despite his lack of qualifying effort, but here he is once again starting to march his way forward, sitting mid-pack right now in 16.
If you're smart about how you run your race, you do not have to qualify to finish well at the super speedway. You just got to keep eyes out as the 3 goes high. He is dropping to the back. This has got to be him getting ready for his pit stop coming up soon.
Yeah, the 3 up on the high side and losing spots very quickly. Paul Servant last on pit road 19 laps ago. Ooh, as we got contact between Squirmin Herman and Jesse Unroe. Paul Servant did not come down pit road that time, but I'm with you. I think he's going to hit pit lane here in a lap or so.
Things are about to get really interesting as we have the 011 of Jason Kinzer and the 32 of Chase Galvin. They were last on pit road 20 laps ago, and they are still on that high lane along with the 711 of Stephen Herman. They are going to have to get down soon or they will be running dry, and that's a sick feeling.
So as Justin continues to lead in his 11 machine, David Anderson in the 44, finding himself on his back bumper. Jason Kinzer in the 011 now on the high side all by himself, and several drivers are starting to migrate to that inside lane. This outside lane really doesn't have a whole lot going on right now.
Stephen Herman is hit up on it. I thought he was going to smack that wall. He's just trying to get out so he can drop back. I'm not sure how much fuel they're running, but with him and Jason Kinzer on 22 laps, they've got to be coming in this time, you would think, as much up front as they've been running.
Only a matter of time before they hit pit road. They did have several caution laps, and here comes several cars for pit lane. Justin Levine pitting from the race lead on the pit road. He's got the 32 of Chase Galvin with him, the 15 of Michael Little.
As the 77 of David Booth is going through the infield right now, trying to see if he can catch it. As he comes up, he is able to keep it going forward, but there was some contact as he hit the bumps and he got airborne going up and through turn 1.
We'll take a look at the 77 as he got shot down to the inside, got on the rough part of the speedway, was able to slow it down, kept it off the wall and keeps it straight, but man, he lost a lot of time there.
That's really, really going to hurt him as he's now without a pack, and as you know, it is extremely hard to do anything without draft help at this track.
Jason Kinzer in the 011 machine is on pit road, and he is pitted all by himself. So not a good strategy call there for Jason Kinzer.
Stephen Herman appears to be out of gas, just rolling to pit road as we speak, coming off of turn 4. So those guys just, I guess they weren't able to get down as we got more people coming into pit. But these guys just weren't able to get down. They were able to run them up completely out.
Yeah, Herman completely out of fuel. Here comes another big group of drivers on the pit lane. Everyone's scattering, and we got one sideways. That's the 75 machine of Michael Berthe.
As he gathers it, maybe on that front stretch. He's up near the wall. He's extremely slow. I hope he's looking in that rear view. I don't know if anybody's coming or not, though. That was really sketchy.
So the 75 gonna have to make his way around one more time, and with pushing it as close as he has on fuel, it may not be the best situation for him. The 603 of Peter Bailey now out in front. He has scored his first lap lead of the night, and he is looking to hit pit road here this time. He's got the 4 of Chris Akers with him and the 82 of Daniel Harrington.
With Peter Bailey hitting pit road, that's going to relinquish, here I go talking like KR, relinquish the lead to Junior Johnson or JR Johnson. I'm not sure which, but he's going to have to hit pit road too, as him and Michael Birthday are the only two, as the 77 just hits pit road. So that will just leave J.R. Johnson, the last person to pit on this stint.
So everyone has made a pit stop except for this 9 machine, and he is out on the speedway all by himself. Not turning very fast lap times by yourself, but man, he does have quite the lead right now. And so if a caution came out, he would be in a good spot.
Yeah, absolutely. He would be able to hit pit road, just get his full fuel. I'm sure some would hit it with him, just to top off. As the 9 does come to pit road, though, so that wasn't going to work out.
So down on the pit lane he goes. The next one in line for the race lead is the 44, David Anderson. He and Jesse Unroe have separated themselves from this field, and Unroe right on the back bumper, 2 teammates here. And Derek, you can attest to the power of teamwork and how important it is.
If you got somebody out there that you trust to be able to push you every inch of this track, it's massive. But these are just 2 guys, and they have a pack of hungry dogs coming on them, all single filed out. So it's going to be just maybe half a lap before this big pack behind them catches them up to them, and probably swallows them.
The 7 machine of Brian Underwood, first car 1 lap down, trying to get to the back bumper of the 133 as we look out the back of Anderson. You can see Unroe staying glued to the back bumper. He is pushing hard. He has got to try and get some air to that thing, though. How many laps do you think these guys can go glued to a back bumper?
I figure, especially coming out of the pit road, if you did your pit stops right and was able to cool your engine a bit, you could probably get 3 solid laps tandem without breathing it. After that, that's where the extra teammates come in handy, because then you could drop either the leader or the guy in second, and you could go to the back and cool your car while the next teammate comes up and continues to make that push.
Next car to go 1 lap down is the 77 of David Booth. Unfortunately for him, he got smashed, shot down towards the infield, able to keep it off the wall, but he was all by himself, and now he is going to fall 1 lap down. He's going to start battling with the 7 of Underwood to be the first car 1 lap down, as we got drivers making moves here for the race lead. The 21 of Daniel Holloway with the momentum on the outside of Unroe and Anderson.
It looks like everybody in that big pack that was coming up on Anderson and Unroe have just decided they're going to stick with each other. Everybody went with each other all the way to that top line. And so now it's a 6-on-3 as they come through the tri-oval. And Holloway is going to get the credit for that lap, as they are now putting the lap on the 7-Eleven of Stephen Herman. Man, people just keep getting one down here. The field's starting to get a little bit thin.
Have 32 cars out on the speedway. Started 33 here tonight. Well, and by started, I mean 33 were scheduled to start. The 82 machine of Daniel Harrington missed the start of the race, missed the first 7 laps, has gained back 1 of those laps. So of our 33 cars, we do have 1 out of the race. That is Doug Johnson. He got eliminated in the first incident of the night. And then you have 26 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap, that is the 75 of Michael Birthday. And I'll tell you, he is hustling that car as fast as he can, but he is down on speed. And not only that, but he is kind of in a world of hurt. He is all by himself, and he's going to be the next one to fall victim.
That's just kind of a no man's land, really just helpless feeling. What's going through his mind right now is he's going to stay out of these guys' way, but the second he gets any space, he is going to drop down and try to grab on and try to get that lap back as quickly as possible. It definitely looks a lot different than the other car that he had, mainly because this is the first time I've ever seen Holloway with a paint scheme. For some reason, his other paint scheme would never load for me, so this right here is a very sharp paint scheme. Well, okay, so I could just tell you exactly what I do. I race my teammates as hard as I race anybody else on the track. I'll pinch them and I'll side draft them, but so let's say I'm the guy in the back pushing one of my teammates or my teammates on the high side. Halfway through a race, I'm not going to stick my teammate 3 wide. You know, I'm not going to put them in a bad position or a compromising position. But I will race them hard, and that's kind of what I expect to come back my way. All it takes is just playing it safe for the first few laps. Maybe get through a pit cycle. If you get green flag stops, you gotta stop with the right people. And then after that, it's literally just run your race. You should be near the front. You know, at this point, these guys have raced with each other. Most of them have raced with each other enough to know who they want to pit with. As we got a little bit of movement there on the bottom, the 133 got shuffled out onto the apron for a little bit. He's able to just corral it back in though and get back in line. No harm, no foul. Didn't even lose a spot.
So now the 31 of Todd Poston leading the charge in the outside lane. Can he lead a lap here and go from the very tail end of this field all the way to the front, literally passing every car out there? He's just got one more car to do that.
If Mark Mann in the 04 is able to get to his rear bumper as they come out of turn 4, then I believe they will have the momentum to where he'll get this lap to his credit. But Mark is there, he just wasn't there quick enough. But that's fine. They say you got a lot of laps left in this race. Pit stops will be happening in about 8 laps, so they're not going to be pushing it too hard. But as we got a little bit of wall contact there from I guess that's 59.
Matthew Kleinschmidt into the wall as he tried to stay out of the way here. He's going to go 1 lap down. And Brian Underwood in the 7, he has been in a good spot here. Even though he is 1 lap down, he was one of the first ones to catch the tail end of the leaders. And because of that, when a single car goes a lap down, they fall all the way back. And Brian Underwood, already tucked in there, gets that easy pass for that first car 1 lap down.
It's not going to be so easy, though. If you look to his high side, KR, the 75 of Michael Berthay is right there with him. He's the second car 1 lap down. If he makes this pass, he'll be the one in the lucky dog spot.
And right now, Michael Berthay does have the nose out in front of him. So it is going to take a little bit of timing for that caution to come out in this situation as they run side by side right now.
As we go through his turns 3 and 4, same story, just different lap as we're side by side for the first 6 rows. A little single file in the back as people are starting to try to plan when they're going to go pit. We should start seeing this top line fizzle out a little bit. As I say that, though, the 9 takes it 3 wide on the high side of the 75, but he's out there by himself. I don't really see this going to work out too well, but it does make it a little interesting to say the least.
Yeah, our first car is 1 lap down, 3 wide off of turn number 2. who's going to end up in this situation coming out on top. And man, that number 9 machine on the high side now tucks in behind the 75. Birthday is now the first car 1 lap down, working that high side to his advantage. But I'll tell you, Derek, we are inside our fuel window, and here comes several cars on the pit lane as that window has opened up for what could be the final pit stop of the night.
It all depends on when people hit this. It's going to be very close as we come to 21 laps to go in the scheduled race for the night. Getting about 22, 23 laps to a tank. So the guys that just hit it, they will be coming in close, but it's very possible that they'll be able to make it. As more people try to get ready as they come through 3 and 4 to come to pit road.
Once again, the 31 machine has passed every car in this field, and he has led his first lap of the night. And now he leads this field, and he's going to pick up his second lap lead. He's got just about a lap or 2 left on his tank of fuel, and that is going to allow him to be safely. I'd say he's probably got just enough here to make it to the end, +1 green-white checkered, especially with this shortened green-white checkered that we now operate under, or caution laps that we now operate under.
Yeah, with the shortened green-white checkered that we run now with the 3 caution laps, basically getting 2 to go after the pits open, that's going to help the guys who just pit. If we had the normal, as we get more people ducking off on pit road, still not the entire pack though, but as if we would have ran the normal 4 laps, I just don't know if those guys who pit early would have had enough.
Chris Akers in the 4 on the outside. He is 3 laps down. He does have Daniel Harrington there with him as well. Harrington also multiple laps down. But you know, that's one thing that I like to see is no matter what, these guys never give up, but they still have a race to do. And you never want to interrupt a race between the leaders, as many of our leaders hit pit lane this time. Todd Poston, David Anderson, Mark Mann, Jesse Unroe gonna shoot the gap there. That was close.
Oh, wow. It's not very often you see 3 wide racing coming to pit road, but that's exactly what we just had between the 44, the 133. Oh, man. That was extremely tight. They all looked like they got it woed up, though. No flags appear to be coming out for that. So that was all really good entrance there for these guys.
Jesse Unroe overshot his pit box a little bit. That's going to cost him a little bit of time, but everyone down and away. And Mark Mann going to come away with that one, as
he is coming way away with it, though. He is pulling way out of there.
He did, but it looks like he was smart. He has slowed up a little bit. Todd Poston now closing in very quickly on him. These two are sitting 1 and 2 as Mark Mann is in trouble.
Oh, save it, Mark. He's locked her down. I don't think there's going to be a caution for this, but that is definitely going to ruin any chances he had. Mark is going to need a caution now to have any shot. And Todd Poston, he's now a sitting duck as he's out front by himself by 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, he is way out in front as everyone is starting to form up and get into that draft and start to track him down. But Mark Mann, tough break for him and Todd. But Mark still did what I think was the right thing. Realized he was not going to be able to save it and keep it from creating a bigger issue. Locked it down and kept it down below the yellow line.
Absolutely. Mark did not want to come up there and cause a yellow because that would change the outcome of the race drastically for everybody. He played it smart. He kept it down. He knew he made a mistake, and he didn't let his mistake, ruin anybody else's strategies out there.
The Michael Little, Justin Levine now make the passes. Todd Poston is going to get turned as we're on board with Todd when this has happened, and everybody's stacking up behind him and into the wall. Heavy contact, and I'm not sure what happened there. Yellow flag comes out. Let's take another look at this one. We go to our turn 3 instant replay. The 15 and 11 squeeze on by. Todd Poston in the 31 machine. Just gonna get an unlucky bump. And I think David Anderson thought Todd was gonna leave him the inside lane. Anderson came with a full head of steam, but at the last minute, Todd looked like he was gonna try and close that door.
Yeah, it was just one of those things. It looks like Anderson thought that the bottom lane was going to stay open, and Todd saw the guys who just went around him go to the bottom. So he tried to pull down there so he could get the draft off of them, and it was just unlucky timing.
So the yellow flag comes out once again as we are working our 4th caution of the night. We have had 25 lead changes here tonight. It has been an exciting battle at the front of the field. At no point has anyone really been able to show any sort of dominance. Paul Servant has led for 23 laps, by far the most laps led from anyone.
You know who that helps out, KR? The 04 of Mark Mann. We saw him lose it coming out pit road. He was able to lock it down, not cause the caution. And then he came out, had to work by himself. He was in danger of going a lap down. But what that did was they got him out of that group because he would have been involved in that accident within that group.
The other thing he's done, he's stayed out. He did not come down pit road. And now he regains a lot of that lost track position.
Pretty awesome to go from P18 to P3, just, you know. And there's been some guys get some really lucky breaks out there. As we're coming, we've got, looks like 15 to go, if I'm doing math correctly, which is probably not. So Mark's out there with a very clean car, full tank of fuel, fresh tires probably. So, yeah, he's going to be good to go.
Of our leaders who pitted, the first one off pit road is the 11 of Justin Levine. Michael Little in the 15 machine coming out behind him. It's a little bit of a change up there. But yeah, Jesse Unruh, Peter Bailey scored 1 and 2 right now. And then it is Mark Mann, Lynn McNeese, and rounding out your top 5 currently is the 011 of Jason Kinzer.
It's a pretty solid top 5 we got going on right now, KR. These guys have been up front most of the night. So I expect an amazing battle for the last 15 laps as we're getting ready to come to 1 to green.
So a bold move by Mark Mann. A strategy call there to not come down pit road. Along with Peter Bailey and Jesse Unruh, Lynn McNeese, Jason Kinzer, and Jimmy Reynolds, who we have not talked about here tonight at all. Jimmy Reynolds in the 25 machine right now finds himself in 6th spot. And these drivers are all gambling that this thing is going to go the rest of the way without any green-white checkered attempts. And I'll tell you, may not be a bad gamble, but a gamble nonetheless.
Yeah, we as we get fewer and fewer laps to go, everybody knows the intensity is going to ratchet up another notch or 7, which as we've started to see the intensity already start to ratchet up as people are throwing a little bit more blocks, not being as giving as they were earlier in this race. So as we get ready to take the green flag and have 13 laps to go, it's going to be pretty wild. And I'm fully expecting that high line, that lane number 3 that we've seen try to take shape. I fully expect that's going to finally form up, and that's my bet is that's where the winner is going to come from, is that 3rd lane, KR.
Well, we'll gotta find out. You know as well as I do, it is always a crapshoot from turn 4 to the checkered flag.
Oh, it is. It absolutely is. There is 150 yards, if not more. I haven't looked at it, but it's quite a few feet. And you can go from 1st to 30th in all of those feet.
Foots.
But
all right, Silverado out of the way. Jesse Unruh, Peter Bailey. Here we go for what could be the final restart of the night. Both drivers trying to get through the gearbox as clean as they can. Don't want to miss a shift here, as it would really be hard to recover from that. Unrow with a good run. He is Mark Man all over his back bumpers. They head off into turns 1 and 2. And here comes Peter Bailey now, starting to gain some momentum as that 84 machine of Lynn McNeese gets to his back bumper.
I was really expecting to see the 04 Mark Man pop out and do that move we've seen constantly again and again tonight. But he was stayed true to the 133 of Jesse Unrow and continues to push him through 3 and 4. Not saying that's not going to happen here, as Mark Man has been cleared, but we will find out soon.
All right, we've yet to do it here tonight, but as we got 12 laps to go, let's do a little bit of turn it up. As the yellow flag is gonna come out, the field slowed down. We have several cars getting involved in this one. And Derek, you saw it. Tell us what you saw.
From what I'm seeing, KR, they were just 3 wide coming through that tri-oval. Looks like the 44 David Anderson went up and just slightly tagged the 3 of Paul Servant, sent him spinning, and then everybody behind them was just along for the ride. Brakes were all hit, but they were just really hauling the mail through there.
The David Anderson in the 44 finding trouble through the tri-oval. And the caution flag coming out. And this is going to work for several of the cars who are trying to stretch their fuel. But when the yellow flag came out, it was Justin Levine at the front of the field. That 11 machine going to catch up to the Silverado. Everyone else going to stack up behind him. Now you have a difficult decision of, do you continue with your gamble, or do you take this chance and top off with just a little bit of fuel but lose all your track position?
That is a huge gamble to take right now, especially if you pit right at what you feel your window was, as it's going to look like we will have some really, it's very possible right now that we will have a green and white checkered on what they want to do here. I would more look towards the guys like the 011 to Jason Kinzer and the 25 of Jimmy Reynolds. They last pitted 10 laps ago, but they're going to be the ones closest on their fuel run.
Reynolds does not come down pit lane. And in fact, we only have, looks like nobody's going to come down pit road. And as I say that, JD Crow in the 17, Donald Bennett in the 31, they're going to hit pit lane. So essentially the back half of the field with nothing to lose and everything to gain coming down Gonna top off their tanks, maybe get some fresh tires on their cars, and really take advantage of this opportunity.
Yeah, they might have been, had a little bit of damage, might be getting that optional damage repaired just so they can have the best car possible as they come out. Definitely going to take 4 fresh ones if I'm going to pit at this time in the race. I'll add a splash of fuel. I don't want any more weight on that car, though, than I need to. So at this point, this is time they're just trying to get their cars as good as they can possibly be, because this shootout coming up, you're going to need all the control and all the speed that you can get.
All right, so the field is slowed one more time. The laps are getting shorter and shorter. It's really starting to wind down here. Our first race of this season, 13 races in total. And Derek, super speedways are always a good time because you get a whole lot of action, but with that action comes this high risk of being involved in an incident. We do have a few cars now who have called it a night. Michael Berthay, he has gone behind the pit wall. Dana Osborne has gone behind the pit wall. Brian Underwood as well. And then Paul Servant's been sitting on pit lane for a while. David Gainforth, who took heavy damage here in this most recent caution in that 101 machine, he's sitting on pit road. So here with when we get the green flag with 6 laps to go, we're finally starting to see some attrition show its head, and it's got to be a little discouraging to make it this deep into a race and finally not be able to continue.
Yeah, it definitely does. As I'm starting to go through the field here, I have noticed something. Some of the guys that just went down pit road, KR, they had some fast repairs saved in their back pocket. Seeing the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, it looks like the 40 of Anthony English. I know that they were tangled up in some accidents earlier, but they have brand new cars and they're ready to make this final push.
Our leader, Justin Levine, checking in on YouTube, saying hello from P1. How about that? Taking a little break from his driving duties to type out on the keyboard. I guess I should be glad he did it under yellow.
I used to race with a guy who would chat with you during the broadcast while we were racing. And yes, under yellow, best time to do it, because he tried to do it under green flag conditions and he was a menace.
Was his name Derek Conley?
No, that was not him.
Oh, okay.
I like how you tried to cram that in there before the green start.
Take us away, Derek.
As the pace truck hits pit road, green flag in the air, the 11 fires off first, and he comes down to cross the line. 133 of Jesse. Wow, I just totally blanked on who that was, but 133 tried to battle back on that outside, but he just has no help right now as that inside has all the momentum entering through turns 1 and 2.
It's all about that inside lane right now, but Mark Mann gonna try and make it too wide. Justin gonna try and block him. Jason Kinzer went with Mark Mann for a moment, then sliced back down to the inside lane. They are really starting to mix it up. They know that the laps are getting short as we have 6 laps to go here, and Mark Mann now leading the charge in that outside lane. Can he get the momentum going? Will that Jason Kinzer machine pop out in front of Mark Mann? He has cleared that outside lane and staying tucked in behind the 11 for right now.
If that outside lane wants any shot of coming through, as we get somebody going through the grass right now, they're able to keep it straight and keep it on the apron. But as I was getting ready to say, if that outside lane wants any chance, somebody from that bottom is going to have to jump up because they are dropping like a rock.
Todd Poston in the 31 now in that outside lane. He's got a little bit of ground to make up, but rookie to this series, the 15 of Michael Little, third car on that inside line.
Outside line starting to try to get formed up. Is it too little, too late? We'll find out soon, as the 15's thinking about coming out in front of Todd Poston. Thought better of it. Maybe not the time to do it. That outside line, though, finally getting that run they've been trying for 2 laps. As the 0-11 of Jason Kinzer comes out, puts a block on Poston. Poston looks to the inside, thinks about making it 3 wide, pulls it back in place. KR, this is really getting amped up as the 26 of Hunter Reynolds going to the outside of the 84 of Lynn McNeese through 1 and 2. He drops back. There's excitement all over the track right now.
4 laps to go as they make their way down the back stretch. Justin continuing to lead. He has led for 16 laps here, putting a stamp on his first race this season, saying, hey, I can be a contender as well. But Jason Kinzer in the 0-11 now showing the outside lane how it's done.
This outside lane's getting that momentum. They are staying perfectly formed. It's going to be really hard for that inside lane to compete with them. As I say that, though, the 0-11 of Jason Kinzer gets a bobble. That's going to give that edge back to Justin Levine in that inside line.
3 more times around. This is anyone's race still. And I'll tell you, it's a race to the white flag. You get to the white flag, you're no longer looking at a green-white checkered attempt. You are done. You get that white flag. There's only 1 more lap to do what you need to do. And Michael Little making a move here in this outside. We got 3 wide. Todd Poston, Jason Kinzer. We didn't make it to the white flag. Everyone spins down to the inside and around, and we got a huge stack up at the back of the field here. Several cars going around.
That was massive, KR. That was the entire front of the pack.
Todd Poston getting a piece of this one as well. So let's go ahead and take one look at this one as we go to our turn 3 instant replay. You can see everyone spins down to the inside. And cars scattering throughout this field trying to find somewhere to go to work their way through this one. We'll take a look on board the 31 machine. And man, oh man, I'll tell you what, that was a wild one. But we are going to have our first green-white checkered attempt.
Yep, and now we're about to find out who had the correct strat for whenever they came in to get their fuel. Because if you have one, as they used to say and always say, cautions breed cautions. So one, it's very possible it's going to lead into a second one.
Sandra Wright asking on YouTube chat how to join these races. Go to the iRacing League tabs, search up NSRA Sunday Select Series, apply for the league, and then NSRA has multiple races throughout the week, but they have their main event here on Sunday night. So apply to the league. You'll probably join one of their recruitment leagues, show you know what your business is. Then before too long, we'll be calling your name here on Sunday night.
KR, as I'm looking through the field here, I'm noticing the 62 of Les Levy was able to make it through that crash unscathed. Les earlier in the race was I think he was 2 laps down. So he's able to make his way back to this lead lap, and he's sitting kind of, firmly right now in P7. So he's kept it clean, and he's got a shot to come through and win this race.
Anyone on the lead lap has a shot at winning these races, but you do have to be on the lead lap. I have seen cars from, outside the top 10 take the white flag and still pull off a win, so anything can happen.
It's not over until it's over, and even then, it's still not over.
So Michael Little in the 15 had his nose out in front when the yellow flag came out. The 11 machine of Justin Levine sitting in second. Jesse Unrow And the 133 sitting in third. Rounding out your top 5 will be Hunter Reynolds in the 26 and Peter Bailey in the 603.
So,
all right, Derek, you now have a green-white checkered attempt in the first race of a 13-race season. Let's say you are Les Levy, Jimmy Reynolds, Lynn McNeese, your 6th, 7th, 8th spot. How hard do you try and win this race?
if I am 6th, 7th, 8th, I go hard, but I don't go too hard. If I can pull away the win, now I'm not going to be able to pull away with the win starting on that bottom line. That's for starters. So, because there's nowhere to go. If I'm on that outside, I'll try to get that third lane running if I can get a dancing partner. But if I can't, I'll stay tucked in and keep my eyes wide open, because if that wreck happens, I want to miss everything. And I'll steal it that way. If not, solid top 10 for the first race, kick the season off great with good points night. That's about the best way you can hope to finish if you're sitting in the back half of the top 10.
Well, the Salty Zombies are going to be a bit upset. Their driver sitting on pit road. The lights have gone out on the Silverado, and Todd Poston, who had a great run going, started tail end of this field, made it all the way up to lead a couple of laps, but now his night could be done in that 31 machine. And man, here we go, Derek. Michael Little on the inside, Justin Levine on his outside. That's row number 1. Row number 2 will be Jesse Unroe, Hunter Reynolds. Row number 3 will be Peter Bailey, and then Jimmy Reynolds in the 25 machine, right in behind the 26.
Could we see a father turn his son for the win coming up, KR? I would pay money to see that.
I think I would too.
That would be a great household to see. As the pace wreck pulls off, we're coming to the green flag. Hopefully for one final time, as the 15 gets a great start. That outside line did not move at all as everybody's dropping back. The 15 blocking as he comes across the line. Business has picked up. Intensity level is at max.
Couple cars with heavy damage, a little slow on the restart. They're dropping down through this running order. Several of them got down to the inside, down below the racing line to get out of the way. But here we go. Levine to the front. Reynolds right there with him. But now Reynolds doesn't have anybody going with him. Here comes Les Levy. Les with a good run to the outside.
Oh, as the 133 of Jesse Unroe comes up a little bit into the 26 of Hunter Reynolds, that's going to slow that outside push as they come to take the white flag. That outside is dropping further and further back as we start to shake it up a little bit more. Here we go, KR. White flag lap. Everything counts.
Final time around. The 11 on the inside, the 15 on the high side, coming through 1 and 2. Jesse Unroe not able to make a move as Michael Little has got him trapped down on the inside lane, but they are side by side. Hunter Reynolds trying to take a peek to the inside and make it 3 wide right through the middle. That fizzles out as Little closed the door on him. Michael Little contact by the 15 again, and Hunter Reynolds is pushing hard on that 15. Justin Levine stays glued to the yellow line.
Hunter says, I'm either going to push you to the win or you're going to wreck out of the win. Regardless, I'm not lifting the pedal. As he comes through, the 15 gets the win. Les Levy from 7th place gets a 2nd place finish. And Hunter Reynolds, who finishes 3rd there, goes end over end through pit road.
So a wild finish, and several cars getting caught up trying to cross the start-finish line. Let's take another look at this one. We'll back that up just a little bit more. You can see that 26 of Hunter Reynolds was pushing hard on the 15. Everybody knows what's at stake here. Peter Bailey gets shot down below the yellow line. Michael Little shoots Jesse Unroe hard into the wall inside, and then Justin Levine into the outside wall. And it's a good thing they all ghosted through that pace truck. So as the field comes around one more time, Michael Little in the 15 picks up his first win of the season in the first race of the season. And guys, we're gonna step away from the microphones here and set up our post-race show. No one go anywhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys, welcome back as we are kicking off our post-race show, and we're gonna talk to our race winner. That is the 15 of Michael Little. And Michael, what a finish that was, and man, that was a hairy last lap as Hunter Reynolds hard on your back bumper. Seemed like he was trying to push you to the win or spin you out. Which one do you think that was?
Probably a little bit of both. It was definitely sketchy, but I had some pretty old tires, so any little thing there was gonna turn me. But I just hate that I got in Justin on the front straight there. It's not how you want to wreck a teammate. You know, Humi Motorsports is pretty new, but we just want to make ourselves known, and that wasn't necessarily the right way to do it by wrecking your own teammate.
Well, that 15 machine pulls off the win, led for 6 laps here tonight, got the job done in the first race of the season. And man, I'll tell you, this race here all night long, anything was possible. And that 15 wasn't on my list of cars to win until about the last 20 laps.
Yeah, it was definitely a good team strategy come down to the end. I don't think we had enough for another green-white, so we were hoping to get to that white flag. And once we did, it was just kind of, you know, I'll take the gloves off and go for it. I didn't do this alone, though. It was with Justin, with Chase, and Matt Kleinschmidt as well.
All right, well, this 15 machine picks up the first win of the season. Any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give?
Humi Motorsports, our painter Darby, Austin Derbyshire, should have been here tonight, but other reasons, and our crew chief James South, who's not with us tonight, but he definitely helps out.
All right, man. Well, nice job on that, and we look forward to seeing this 15 machine throughout the rest of this season.
Yes, sir. Look forward to it.
All right. Michael Little from Who Me Motorsports picking up the first win of the season. But now, Derek, we're going to move on to our second place finisher, and that is none other than Les Levy. And Derek, this one's all you.
Les, you got your ears on, buddy?
Derek, buddy, how you doing? I heard you've given up racing and to become a broadcaster.
I had to do something. From what I heard, if you can't do, you broadcast, and so that's how KR hooked me. Man, you started that last restart in 7th spot. We actually talked about you right before that finish, how you had moved all the way up to 7th. How did you get that second spot squeezed through there? I mean, that was a mess.
You know, that was when you close your eyes, step on the gas pedal, and whoever you believe in him, and you move forward.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Whenever you came into the night with the first race, what was your hopes to be able to get out of this race?
Yeah, first races are always a little tough. Hope to survive. The night didn't start so well. Got caught up about lap 7, got stuck up on the apron, went 3 or 4 laps down, but I'll take a second by less than a 10th anytime after that start.
Absolutely, man. Well, great showing tonight for the first race of the season. Hope your rest of the season ends up just like tonight did. You got any thank yous or shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, 10-4, Derek. Well, first off, I hope the season ends up a little better and I end up in the championship, not second, but, I'll just leave that there. But yeah, we want to thank Checker Flag Motorsports, all the guys at NSRA, of course, the Ricky Bobby Foundation for People Challenge to Go Fast, and KR and all the guys at Turn 3, the premier broadcasters of iRacing. And of course, Derek, you too.
All right, that was Les Levy finishing in second place here tonight. But now we're going to move on to our third place finisher, and that is the 26 of Hunter Reynolds. And Hunter, you bring this home in third place, upside down, flipping, turning, all that good stuff.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting race tonight. A lot of carnage. I don't know. I'm just annoyed. People kept coming up out of the bottom on me, and but you know, solid race for Les. And I'm just glad we brought it home third. I mean, I'm happy.
Well, it was an outstanding race from start to finish for this 26 machine, working your way to, you know, through a lot of things going on out there. And Hunter, again, a third place finish is nothing to sneeze at here to Super Speedway.
Oh, definitely not. No, it's always a pleasure to be talking with you guys, and you know, solid run for our team here. Les with the second, I got third, and then Dad with the top 5. That's pretty good in my book.
All right, well, Hunter, before we let you go, any shout outs or thank yous you'd like to give for your third place finish here tonight?
Yes, sir. Of course, all my teammates helping me out there, running with me. Turn 3, you guys in the booth, KR, Derek, you guys do a good job. Did a good job. Everybody watching, of course, all the fans, we appreciate you. League admins, and I think that's it. Yeah, we appreciate everyone.
All right, that is your third place finisher, Hunter Reynolds. And again, Hunter, congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Man, oh man, Derek, what a night we had here to kick off this NSRA Sunday Select Series. So many things happening, as always, with the Super Speedway. And man, thank you for joining me at the last second.
Oh, dude, no problem at all. I was going to watch. I was ready for all the excitement. I wasn't prepared for as much excitement as I got, though. That was a really awesome race, especially there at the end.
All right, guys, so that is going to wrap it up for us here tonight. As always, I have been your host. My name is KR Stolvis. My analyst was Derek Connolly, stepping into the booth last minute. We'll see if we can't convince him to stick around for 12 more races. So until we see you guys next week at Talladega, make sure y'all stay safe, have a good time, and we look forward to seeing you next week.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.